My name is Nick Ivey. I'm a professional artist based out of Texas, and before I go ahead and give you advice on how to paint shoes, I just want to show you a little bit of my work, just so you can gauge whether or not you want to listen to me with this tutorial. Okay, so you want to learn how to paint Air Force Ones. I don't blame you. Air Force Ones are making their presence known, and you don't want to be the only person not wearing Air Force Ones, but you also don't want to just follow the crowd and just wear basic Air Force Ones. There's nothing wrong with basic Air Force Ones, but maybe you want to customize it. Maybe you want to be bold and stand out from the crowd. Or maybe you're just bored at home, like me. Either way, I got you, don't worry. Okay, obviously the first step in order to customize shoes is that you need shoes. And getting Air Force Ones can be a little tricky. Since they are so popular, Nike.com doesn't always have your size. If you're a size 10.5 in men's or above, you're probably good. But if you're not, then you could always go to the women's section and just order like a size bigger in women's. So if you're a size 8 in men's, just order like a size 9 in women's. And if they don't have your size in women's, you can go to the youth sizes and order the larger shoes in the youth size in order to meet your needs. Now, once you find your size, all you have to do now is simply place the order and wait for it to come. Now, once you've ordered your shoes, you have to make sure that you're gonna be ready for when they come. Just like two parents eagerly waiting for their newborn to come, painting the walls, getting decorations, getting the crib, getting everything all set up, you have to do the same. These Air Force Ones are your new babies, especially if you're gonna spend $90 just on shoes. More like $98 with shipping and everything in total, so $100 for a pair of shoes. Yeah, this is gonna be your new baby. And as you can tell, this space isn't ready for a baby. Well, that's a whole lot better. A couple weeks ago, I made a pair for myself. And I made these using spray paint, but I realized not everyone has access to spray paint or even access to a safe place in order to spray paint, because you need to be in the outdoors, have a mask, there's a lot of fumes from the spray paint, so I'm gonna show you a different way to paint shoes while being inside. But before we do that, just need to clear off all these shoes off the table with a little magic trick. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Magic, am I right? All right, listen here, you beautiful people. The first thing you want to do is to delace your shoes. Get those laces out of here. There are 2 items required in the next step, and that is 1, acetone. Acetone is in this leather deglazer from Angelus.com, or you could just buy any nail polish remover that has acetone in it. You're also going to want to add in some cotton balls into your card as well. Now, this might be the most important step. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. The acetone will take off the factory finish on the shoe and will leave you a surface that paint can adhere to. If you don't do this step, then your paint won't stick. So please, make sure you are generous with this step. Get every nook and granny. Sorry, I mean every nook and cranny. A good sign that you're doing it correctly is that your fingers are gonna start turning a little bit white, and that's from the finish coming off of the shoes. The next step is taping up your shoe. Personally, I use this 3M painter's tape. Some people like vinyl tape. It's all personal preference. And technically speaking, you don't even need to tape anything. It just depends what parts of the shoe that you want to keep white. Now, this next step, you'll need an X-Acto knife, or really any type of blade to cut the masking tape you just put on. Now, please be careful and take your time with this step. Safety first. Here is a bonus tip. If you don't want to use a lot of tape on the bottom of your shoe, you can place a paper towel to save some time and resources. To introduce what I need for this next step, I'm gonna get a little help from Drew Carey.
George, let's make one of them extra happy by calling on down. Who we got?
Angel's Leather Paint, come on down. You are the next contestant on The Price is Right. For this part, I'm going to create a base layer using Angelus flat black paint. Now, I'm not sponsored by Angelus, not yet, but I do have an affiliate link down below, so if you wanted to order some paint, I'll get a small kickback, and I will love you forever and ever. Well, that just sounds a little desperate. Let's just say I'll appreciate it. Now, my client wanted a monochromatic color palette with a small pop of color. So I'm gonna use black, gray, white, and yellow. Now, being patient and doing multiple thin layers of paint will yield the best results. For example, I did 2 layers with this flat black Angelus paint. Dark colors don't really take too much. I would probably have to do like 3 or 4 coats if I was using like the yellow color, for example. Now, using light coats will just simply make your life a whole lot easier, even though it might take a little bit more time. The moment you've been waiting for. Splatter time. Splatter is just a weird word to say. Now I'm saying it over and over again. Splatter, splatter, splatter. Anyway, okay, it is important to note that there is a high chance that you will make a mess. So either lay down some newspaper, some trash bags, some rags, some tarps, really anything you don't mind getting dirty. And also make sure that you're wearing clothes that you wouldn't mind getting some paint on. And now back to the video. There's a bunch of different techniques that you can do. You can do a slow yet powerful flick of the wrist motion. This will give you bigger blobs of paint, or you could flick your paintbrush. But this could hurt after a couple flicks, so you could always take another paintbrush and just like hit the other paintbrush, if that makes sense. Whether you're flicking or just hitting the paintbrush, this will generate a lot of smaller dots. So it's just your personal preference whether you want big blobs of paint or small dots, or a little bit of combo, which is what I did. Now, after you're done splattering, if that's a word, I just let these dry overnight just because I had the time. Now is the time that you take off the tape, which is literally the most satisfying part. So I'll be quiet and let you enjoy the sweet, sweet sound of tape removal. At this point, you're probably wondering to yourself, don't you need to like put a finisher on the shoes? How come you're not doing that, Nick, huh? Well, these shoes are a novelty, meaning they're not gonna get worn around, so I'm not gonna put a finisher on these. But if I were to use a finisher, I would just use this matte acrylic finisher. I've used that on a bunch of other shoes. Yeah, but as far as these, I don't need to finish because they're not gonna get worn around, so I don't really need the extra protection. Thank you for sticking with me with this video. It took like literally a whole week to edit this. I just tried a whole bunch of different things, so thank you for your support. Thank you for sticking around, and I hope you like the shoes. If you want to see more stuff from me, I'm on Instagram and TikTok, Nick Ibe, so check me out there. But with that, I'll be back with a new video shortly. Peace.